Good morning, gang. Happy Thursday morning. Okay, racial stereotyping. I'm going to just put it there. We try not to do it as best we can, all right? But in some cases, it has to be. I will say this. Not all Muslims are terrorists. Not all African Americans are ghetto, okay? Not all white people are white trash. Not all Indians are H-1Bs. But that's the stereotype that happens in the United States. Not all Mexicans are illegals, right? There's another good one for you. But this is what winds up happening when you have a system that is abused for so long. And certainly the last administration abused the crap out of it. And going back to the Kenyan implant, certainly that has been done. I mean, we had, for 12 of the last 16 years, we had an America Last policy, an Americans Last policy in this country. And now it's coming to bite us in the butt. It's about time something's gotten done. I mean, if you just look at what happened overnight, okay? Apparently, the FBI and the DOJ went in on a raid on Roosevelt Avenue. That's AOC's district in New York City, okay? And arrested 8 gangbangers, let's just use that term, 7 of whom, of course, were illegal, for running a criminal enterprise, prostitution, counterfeiting, selling guns, selling fake passports, etc., etc., etc. 7 of the 8 of them were illegals. Overnight, we had a huge pedophile ring blown up in Minneapolis, run by, hold your chair here, guys, illegals. Okay. This is the problem. We have so many people who were let into this country with no redeeming qualities whatsoever. No skills, no nothing. All they wanted to do was come in here and get free stuff and cause mayhem. Think I'm kidding. You've all seen dozens upon dozens of videos of them interviewing these people as they're crossing the border, saying they're just here for free stuff. I mean, I think it was CBS about a year ago. I showed you this clip where they were standing at the border asking people as they were crossing, throwing all their documents in a pile right as they came through the fence. And the reporters there, what'd you do down in Mexico? Oh, I was a shop owner. I was a blah, 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 blah. What do you plan on doing in the United States? No habla inglés. Oh, so all of a sudden, what are your plans? Now all of a sudden you don't speak English. Got it. Okay, because we know exactly what you were doing. You were coming here to fleece the system. In other words, to take money out of my pocket. You hear the see something, say something, right? All the time. How many of us are guilty of being complacent? It's not my problem. Newsflash. It's all of our problems. Okay? If there's somebody that might not be here, should not be here, and you know it, somebody that works at your company, somebody that hangs out at the 7-Eleven where you go get your coffee on the way to work in the morning. I don't think a whole lot of us go to Starbucks. You have an obligation to report that to the police and let the police go check it out. It's not our job to go ask somebody for proof of citizenship, okay? That's dangerous. Don't do that. But if you know it, Or if the signs are there that, gee, this person probably shouldn't be there. I don't know, maybe the Home Depot parking lot on a Saturday morning. Okay, just saying. You have an obligation to call the cops, okay, to call ICE, to call whomever, to clean this up. Because if you don't, you can expect your taxes to go up. You can expect more inflation, et cetera, et cetera. Remember, every time something's stolen from a company, they have to raise prices to recoup that loss. Don't give me the insurance, because we all know how insurance companies will find any loophole they can to not pay a claim, okay? And even if they do pay a claim, then they just tell that business, well, I'm sorry, your insurance just went up, okay? So either way, what winds up happening is the business raises prices, which means you pay more, okay? We are all paying for this. As much as everybody bitches about inflation, me included, okay? The biggest reason, well, maybe the second, the biggest reason, of course, is the government borrowing money hand over fist. The second biggest reason is because of all the crime and the freebies that are being given out to all these illegals. And before somebody says, oh, you're anti-immigrant, no, I'm not. I married one who came over here legally, okay, and makes a contribution to American society, all right? No, Mrs. P is not out stealing. Sorry, no. Working is a better idea, you know, and has her naturalization papers and her U.S. citizenship. Okay. I know there's a couple of you guys who've told me that you have recently gotten your U.S. citizenship, Prep Rebel being one of them, for example. But if you see something, you need to take action. I got an email, this morning when I woke up. It was sent to me overnight. One of y'all had the exact same thing happen to her that happened to me, that I had told you about. It happened to her apparently yesterday. That she was going to the bank, went through the drive-thru, and gee, miraculously, what happened? A little black car all of a sudden started following her. And she called 911, and she said, I'm only a couple of blocks from the police station. And as she got there, there were two cops standing outside waiting for her to pull in. The car drove by. Another cop pulled over that car. They didn't do anything. So, you know, we just happened to be going the same direction as her, I guess, you know, or whatever. So they couldn't do anything. But the cops kept them occupied long enough that she could drive away, okay? See something, say something. Don't know what happened. She's a widow. So, you know, this could have saved her life. As I told you yesterday, they're getting more and more creative on how to stop people, how to rob people, how to kidnap people, how to rape people, how to kill people. Okay. We all need to work together. U.S. citizens need to work together to protect our communities. That's all prepping, okay? You have a plan to protect your property, to protect your neighborhood. If something goes wrong, if the Chinese come over the hill, whatever it is, this is what we're all doing together to prevent them from coming in and causing mayhem, right? Got that plan. What about your town? Okay, we're being invaded, just not militarily. We're being invaded criminally. So we have that obligation to do whatever we can, to use whatever resources we have to stop this from going on. Racial profiling. Gee, I'm sorry the Democrats are bitching about this. Oh, they're racial profiling Hispanics. Yeah, you know why? Because so many Hispanics came over and are illegal. Okay? It's no different than the blacks screaming that, oh my God, they're racial profiling me for crime. I hate to tell you this, okay? Or, you know, white trash, if you will. Gee, wonder if this guy's peddling meth, right? Okay, Walter White. But yes, I'm sorry, this is just the way it has to be done. If you're Hispanic and you're a U.S. citizen, fine. Somebody comes up and says, prove you're a citizen. Here you go. Done. No problem. Question answered. No different than when a cop pulls you over and says, license and insurance, please. Here you go. Got it. Moving on. Okay. But the ones that don't, they're the ones trying to hide in the shadows. I'm sorry if everybody thinks it's racial profiling. It's necessary. Okay? You look for the obvious thing. If you're looking to get a new pet goldfish, you don't go to the dog pound. Okay? You go where they are and you look for the right thing. Okay? I'm sorry, but the communities, the Hispanic community, the Black community, the rural community, the Indian community, the white community, the Asian community, whatever, needs to police their own. It's as simple as that. If you don't want the collective reputation of being, insert problem here, then you have an obligation to help correct it. If your neighborhood has a drug problem, let's say, you need to do what you can to get the drugs out. Otherwise, you're going to be lumped in with the drug dealers, right? It works along every different line you can imagine. Racial, sexual preference-wise, etc., etc., etc. I'm not going to apologize for the country stopping Hispanics and asking for papers. You can say it's Nazi Germany all over the place if you want. But you know what? This wasn't a problem we created. This was a problem Barack Obama and Joe Biden created. Unfortunately, we're the ones that have to fix it. The police department, the FBI, immigration, ICE, whatever, they're working hard. They need help. They need our help. Obviously, you can see in the news, they're more than happy to go in and bust all this stuff up. They're more than happy to throw every one of them in alligator Alcatraz. We just need to help them find them. Because until we get rid of all this wretched refuse that's come into this country, our country isn't safe. And that's a pretty scary thought when you look at the safety of countries, and we're not the safest one anymore like we used to be. Pinball out.